What's going on, guys? It's Joe here, Bountiful Gardens, Hillsboro, and right now we're basking in the middle of these hot summer days. If you've been following our videos, you're now well acquainted with some of the beneficial insects that call our landscapes home. And now, we want to take an even closer look at some of the finest perennials that we offer here at the nursery. Every species of plant has its own unique characteristics, requirements, and histories. And the more you know about the plants in the garden, the closer you'll feel to nature. For our first deep dive, we're covering these two beauties right here, Echinacea and Hardy Hibiscus. Now let's get to learning. Working here at Bountiful Gardens, I have the pleasure of being surrounded by all of this Echinacea. Now, this native plant is a very low maintenance perennial that you can add to your garden. It does really well in rich, organic, well-drained soils. The plant itself is extremely drought tolerant once established, although for the first year you might want to help it along, especially on these hot summer days, just to make sure that it's getting those roots down into the soil where it needs to go. Echinacea works well planted in full sun. The more sun that you give it, the more blooms you will get. Bees, butterflies, and beneficial insects all love this plant, and it is still considered to be moderately deer resistant. Being that it's a native plant, its fertilizer requirements are pretty low. You can plant it in areas that maybe are a little bit more neglected, and you can also plant it in areas where you've got a nice established perennial garden. And with so many different varieties available, it does work well both in front of the garden with the dwarf varieties. You can use it in the midsection, or you can even use it as a showstopper at the back of your bed. They do tend to spread out and get quite bushy, so you're really going to increase your blooms every year as well.
Hey everyone, this week one of our featured plants are Echinacea. And isn't it just amazing how many colors they come in? They can range in sizes all the way from about 12 to 14 inches, going all the way up to 3 to 4 feet. So you could find the perfect Echinacea for your garden. So a cool fact about Echinacea is that the petals you're seeing here are actually false petals called a bract. The true flower is on the inside of the cone, which is where the bee feeds. These little tiny yellow dots are the true flower where the pollen gathers. As the flowers fade and more flowers produce, the cone will grow in size. On this other kind of Echinacea, the real petals on the inside have been accented to be fluffier, giving a different shape to the coneflower. Another fun fact about Echinacea is that it's not only a good food source for the bees, the butterflies, and moths, it's also a great food source for our goldfinches, our state bird. As the seed heads dry and the petals start to fall towards fall, the seeds in the inside will harden, which are a great food source for our migrating goldfinches. These have strong stems, so they'll land on the stem and feed away at the seed head, making a nice snack as they travel. Not only is Echinacea a great food source for insects and local wildlife, it's also been used medicinally for centuries, with all parts of the plant, from the flowers to the leaves, even the roots, being used to treat inflammation and all sorts of other ailments. The flowers and leaves are commonly steeped in teas and tinctures, and the roots can be ground up and used as a powder supplement. They're believed to be antiviral, rich in antioxidants, and great for your skin and hair. They're supposed to also help with anxiety too, so that's probably why I feel so calm around them.
Isn't Echinacea a beautiful plant? Now up next, we have a plant with some of the largest flowers you'll find anywhere. Let's take a look at the Hardy Hibiscus. Nothing says the setting in of summer quite like the blooming of the Hardy Hibiscus. So if you've got a wet spot on your property that's just screaming for some summer color, this might be the perfect plant for you. This low maintenance plant is actually pretty disease and insect resistant, so it pretty much takes care of itself. It will increase in size every year that it's established. So if you've got a 3 to 4 foot tall by 3 to 4 foot wide area that you really need some summer color, this is a great plant to put in that spot. And this will bloom from about the middle to the end of the summer, giving that one spot in your landscape that much needed pop of color. If you've got gardens and beds that are deep into your property that's hard to see smaller flowers, you should look into the Hardy Hibiscus, because you can't miss the flowers on this plant. If you look in front of me and on the side, you will see that each one of these stalks does produce a cluster of flower buds on the top. So as this flower begins to wilt, you will have another bloom opening up. After all these blooms have opened, if you just want to give this a little bit of a cutback, it will encourage another set of flowers to potentially bloom in the future. Truly a spectacular plant.
Surrounding me is our native hibiscus. This winter hardy plant can survive to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And you heard me right, negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. They come in the straight species here, which is this pink flower, or some of our hybrids, which are the size of dinner plates, coming in reds, pinks, and white colors. A nickname for our hardy hibiscus called Swamp Mallow. And you can imagine by the name, these grow in swampy areas. You can actually find them along the DNR Canal here in Hillsborough. These grow in usually wet to moist areas with a lot of sun. You could find them along riversides, swamps, wetlands, and generally any kind of marshy wet area. An important fun fact to know about hardy hibiscus is that they like really warm soil temperatures. So what that means is that they typically don't start popping out of the ground until mid to late May. So don't dig them up because you think they're dead. Give it a little bit more time. They're likely still asleep.
Like Dan was saying, perennial hibiscus can withstand really cold temperatures, making it a great plant for New Jersey. But we do also carry the tropical varieties too, which have edible flowers and petals that are great for steeping in teas. All parts of the perennial hibiscus are believed to have medicinal properties as well. They're supposed to be astringent and soothing, although they don't have as much flavor as their tropical counterparts, so I don't really recommend eating them. I would rather just enjoy them for their beautiful dinner plate-sized flowers. Even when they're not flowering, they can be enjoyed for their dramatic foliage, which can even come in burgundy colors or this really cool variegated one.
Echinacea and hardy hibiscus really are two of the most beautiful summer flowering perennials that you can add to your garden. And we have the largest selection in the state here at Bountiful Gardens. And it looks like we just got some exciting critter news from Amelia over in Ewing.
We've got an exciting butterfly update. These are monarch caterpillars, and we just found 8 on our tropical milkweed. Now let's get these caterpillars into their enclosure with some host plants. We're placing them into our butterfly enclosure here with some different types of milkweed, which is their favorite host plant. Since we found them on tropical milkweed, we also are providing them with one of the tropical milkweeds as well.
Aren't those cute, squishy little guys adorable? Can't wait to see them grow. So thank you for joining us to take a closer look at Echinacea and hardy hibiscus. Next week, we're going to take a deep dive into Agastache and Rudbeckia. Week by week, we're hoping to provide you with a better understanding of all the beautiful plants that are just waiting to become a part of your landscape. And you can find them all right here at Bountiful Gardens. And as always, if you're enjoying our videos, make sure you like them, leave us a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we're making for you. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.